Hey, welcome to Chaotic Harmony. I am your host, Angela Schultz. I thought I'd start my podcast off with how I met my husband, Tony, and our unforgettable first date. Trust me when I say either he really didn't pay attention to anything the entire time we were on the date, or he may have wanted to see if I was full of shit when I told him my life was a bit crazy. What I do know is we had that kind of date that most people would run from. There were so many moments that screamed red flag, run away, get away, but we happened to be two very stubborn people, so we needed to see what was going to happen next. So now I would like to bring you back all the way to July of 2008. At that time, I was going through a divorce, and my children were with their father at the time. So my house was way too quiet. I literally had 4 kids. 3 of them were all in diapers. So when I say the house was quiet, I mean the house was quiet. My friend Ashley suggested that we go out to the local bar. Why not? I needed to have a little fun, a little adult time. My kids were gone. The house was quiet. Dishes were done. So we decided to go, and I had a blast with her. We had a few drinks, not too many for me because I happen to be a lightweight, so I would say more like a cheap date, but whatever. I was pretending to play pool, and I was having a lot of fun. And then right before closing time, the door of the bar opened and made this little jingle sound, and then, like most of the bar looked to see who was walking in, and in walked in these 2 guys I've never seen before. And both Ashley and I felt like it was almost like our jaw dropped down to the ground. And then it was like fresh meat, like, oh my God, these guys. So we were both kind of drooling over them. And we were both expressing which ones we thought were hot. Now, I wanted to get to the attention. So I got talked into buying the beer for them. And yeah, a guy is supposed to, get the girl a drink first, but I wanted to do it the opposite way. I should say Ashley kind of forced me into it, but either way, I bought my man a drink first. And then after the bartender delivered the beers, Ashley walked over there like a boss. I don't know why, but I was so nervous. The guy that I thought was hot seemed like he was way out of my league. At the time, look at me. It's still now. I look at myself like, how do I deserve this man? But she went over there like, hello world. And I gave her credit for that. Kudos to you, Ashley. She kept telling me to come over there and was yelling my name from across the bar, waving her arms and her hands. And then finally I just trotted over there like I got last place in a race. So then when I got over there, my face was just burnt red. I could feel it was like on fire. And then my personality, my very in-your-face personality, like I talk shit and all that, it disappeared. This man, to me, was so hot that I just lost all personality. I was quiet. I am not quiet, ever. Ask everyone that knows me. Then Ashley suggested an after-bar hangout. I didn't want it at my place. I had kids that live there. I don't know these 2 men. So she said, well, let's go to my place. I didn't follow her to her place right away. I wanted to go home and change. I was very close to her house. And also, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go over there because this guy was really intimidating. Well, not the other one, but sorry. But the guy I was interested in was. But after I changed into my pajama pants and a t-shirt, I decided to get out of my comfort zone. And let's be straight up honest. I was going through a divorce. My house was quiet. A girl has needs. And this guy, if he could do all this to me, what could he do? You know what I mean? Do you get the hint? Anyway, so I walked into her house and she had some drinks out in the kitchen. And we drank a little bit more. I really didn't. I pretended to. But I cannot tell you what we talked about that entire time because my heart was racing so fast. And this guy, I cannot express to you. I'm probably overdoing it on this, but I'm telling you right now, for me, it was just like, oh my God. Ashley wanted to show something to the other guy that was with the guy I thought was hot. So we walked into her room. I mean, I literally followed Ashley wherever she went because I was so scared. So I say we. As she got on her computer, I laid on her bed. Next thing I know, the guy I thought was hot laid next to me. We did some small talk, and I finally got his name. The hot guy laying next to me, his name was Tony. He had a name. The hot guy was Tony. My mind was racing all over the place. He actually talked to me. His name is Tony. He is laying next to me. A girl wants what a girl wants. I mean, come on. Should I though? Like in Ashley's bed? As my mind is racing with all of those thoughts, I instantly feel Tony's arms wrap around me. And then he whispers, I miss this. I miss cuddling with someone. Okay. Sorry, but my panties got wet. Hormones took over. I tried to play hard to get. I mean, will I ever see this guy again? But it was too... He just did me in with that just for a little bit. So Ashley and Tony's friend left the room and shut the door. That was an oh shit moment for me. We kissed and he whispers, just for a little bit. And I stood by those words. Ladies and gentlemen, I literally did. Things got very hot and very heavy until that door opened up and his friend saw Tony's ass in the air and he said something like, oh shit. And then he went and slammed the door shut. And that's when I stopped all action. Tony and I got dressed and Tony was really trying hard to get me to continue. And I was like, nope, I already felt guilty about Ashley's bed and I won't get into that right now. But either way, Tony walks out and says to Ashley and to Jason, thanks, I didn't finish. Well, I'm sorry, you said just for a little bit. In my head, I was thinking that. But that's when I found out that wasn't his friend. It was Tony's cousin, Jason. I laughed about that because I sat here thinking it was his friend this whole time. And then we realized we never exchanged phone numbers. Well, I realized we never exchanged phone numbers. And Ashley realized what all happened in her bed. And I heard it from the next day I had to go over to her house and clean those damn sheets, which I don't blame her. I should have. And I did. I even made her breakfast, by the way. But then the next day I went to work and life was going on like normal. And I was on break and I saw a text on my phone from Ashley. Ashley and Jason exchanged numbers, and Jason was telling Ashley that Tony did not stop talking about me all the way home the night before. And Jason wanted to know if he could get my phone number so that Tony could have it. Well, I decided, why the hell not? Let's see what happens next. This guy's hot. Why not? So I got his number. And we started texting, and it felt amazing to actually be talking to someone that I would never have thought I would even have a chance with. He asked me on a date, maybe like a week into this. I have literally never been on a date before, and I had 4 kids at the time. So, oh my God, yes, please. Now, the day of the date came. He rang my doorbell, and when I opened my door, I saw him literally do a sigh of relief. I know how it was because I forgot what he looked like and he was scared of what I looked like. So we were both like, whew, no clue where we were going. I mean, he would not tell me. He said it was a surprise. But I really didn't care. It didn't matter to me. I'm not a materialistic person. I really don't care. So I was just excited to be in his company. I already felt lucky. So he drove me to this beautiful place near my area. And I've lived in this area forever. And I've never seen this before. And it's called The Rock. It's in Shawano area. He grabbed my hand and guided me into a large rock. Now, it's basically like a waterfallish type landscape with all these rocks. It's just gorgeous. If you've never been there and you're in the Shawano area, you need to. And we sat on this one big one and had our legs kind of dangling almost into the water. And we sat there talking about everything and anything. I'm not sure how long we sat there, but I know it was long enough for me to say, hey, I ruined my knee on a trampoline, so my balance isn't the greatest. I know that for sure. But all I do know, in general, it was just it just felt magical and beautiful. And then we decided to leave to get a bite to eat. He was in front of me this time walking on those slippery rocks, and here I am in my flip-flops, and I was trying not to fall. I just kept looking like, please don't fall, please don't fall. And then I end up slipping, and I get stuck and I scrape my entire side of my left leg, blood dripping everywhere. And I felt so embarrassed. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's helping me get unstuck. And then he helped me walk to the truck. And I just felt so dumb at this moment. Like, oh my gosh. But he made me feel okay about it. Then we get into the truck. And I asked him, like, did you move my purse? Because I literally don't see my purse anywhere. And he goes, no, but where the hell is my CD? And that's when we realized someone was in his truck and stole our stuff. Now, my purse had everything in it. And I mean everything. I will never do this again. I had my rent money in cash, all in cash, in this purse. I had debit cards, my insurance cards, all of my social security cards for my kids, myself. My phone was in there. You name it, it was in that purse. And then this poor guy lost one CD. So now I had my leg dripping with blood. Purse was stolen. His precious Seether CD is stolen. Don't get me wrong, Seethers are great, but either way, my purse was stolen with everything in it. And now we had to go to the police station. So we stopped at the police station, and then I was thinking, well, he isn't that bad of a guy, because if he isn't afraid to go to the police station, he's not bad. So I knew I couldn't do anything about my purse or the whole situation. So I just tried to play it cool. All the while he's complaining about his favorite CD. And then I'm looking out the window and I'm kind of giggling a little bit about the situation. And I hear, why are you so calm right now? And my response was, stuff happens to me all the time. I have really bad luck. And I just want to point out that should have been his first red flag. Honestly, if this stuff happens to me all the time, you need to run. But he didn't. After I finished my police report, he mentioned food, and yes, I was starving. Okay, I ain't little. I need to eat. We were both he was driving to the bar, and I started laughing out loud. He starts nervously laughing also, and then asks me what's going on. And this, my friends, should have been red flag number 2. My unfiltered mouth blurts out, if we got married, this would be a funny story to tell our grandchildren. He just dead ass stares at me. We ain't getting married. I'm like, yeah, but if we did, it would be a funny first date story. We both laughed. His sounded more like this woman is nuts, but I really didn't care. At this point in our date, I had slipped and managed to bleed everywhere. My purse was stolen. His CD was stolen, and we had to go to the police station. What else could happen to me? This was already hilarious, and if we did have grandkids, that would be a funny story right there. So we ate, and nothing special happened there, thank God. And now it's time to bring me back home. We had already sealed the deal earlier, you know what I mean? Because this date needed something positive, and we already did it. Why not get it all done again and show him what I'm really about? Let's not be a prude here. But I never shared with him my thoughts because I didn't really want him to think, okay, now this girl's crazy and now she wants to sleep with me. Yeah, right. She ain't getting anything. I didn't want that. I didn't want no rejection. So I got to my place and I invited him in. Now, at that time, I had a dog. I thought I could have a dog. I always wanted a dog. I was now single. I wanted a dog for my kids. Horrible idea at the time, but I just had to, tell him, hey, she's a little hyper. And he was okay with that. And without getting into too many details, we did seal the deed. And I wish we would have shut that bedroom door a little bit better, though, because while in the middle of doing the deed, my freaking dog decided to sneak in and shove her whole ass and wet nose in Tony's ass. I got permission to say that, by the way. Talk about a surprise appearance. But no worries. That didn't stop him, and it didn't stop us. As we lay there afterwards, and we're talking a bit about our date, it was more interesting. He gives me his phone number finally again and says, you can get a hold of me once you get a new phone. We both get out of bed, and I screamed at the same time. I look over at him, and he's looking down with this disgusted look in his face. And God damn it, my damn dog pissed on his side, or pissed on my side and shit on his side. It's like, okay, universe, what's next? I was officially convinced I'd never see or hear from Tony again. Honestly. I mean, he's kind of crazy if he does. So when I text him back, once I got my new phone, and I was beyond surprised to get a text back, and it said, hey, beautiful. Now, our first date is exactly how our journey through life together has continued to be. Fun, messy, unpredictable, but so worth it. If I would have listened to that little voice in my head at that time, telling me he was too good for me and you'd scare him away, I would have never met my forever first worst date. If you want some advice from me, just do what I did. Go with the flow. Act like everything is fine. And most importantly, show a little bit of your crazy. That way you can say, you already knew I was like this. I showed you on our first date. That worked for me anyways. Thank you so much for taking time out of your life to listen to me ramble about mine. Watch for new episodes every Tuesday. Now let's go out there and embrace the weird and make normal feel boring. Bye.